Hi, hello, good morning, good afternoon, whatever time it is for you. Let's talk all things fashion, really, because I want to. I don't really have other reasons. I've recently been seeing loads of these videos that are like things that instantly make you stylish, in my opinion, or things that I find chic, or things, my favourite things that I bought in the month of May, or something like that. And I've really been enjoying these videos a lot because they really remind me of just, I don't know, like those late 90s, early 2000s shows that we had a lot. Like I genuinely feel like I'm like sitting with close friends and talking about their things that they love and getting to know someone really well and just all of that. So I just really like them. I'm so glad that they're slowly trickling into more long form content on YouTube instead of just like TikTok and like Instagram, which by the way, I love too, do not get me wrong, but there's just something more about this. I don't know, I feel like you get to know someone a lot better through this, through the things people say, through things I say, whatever. I'm kind of talk about things that I personally find chic. This is not just gonna be like about fashion, but it mainly is because I love fashion. I am so obsessed with clothing, people don't understand. I feel like that's such like, I'm not a very feminine person, as in the way that I usually act, like my behaviors, in my personal opinion, not very feminine. But when it comes down to the likes that I have, it is. And it's so weird to then say things of like, oh, I like fashion, I like makeup, I like all of those things, because I feel like there's just a certain vibe that you get from people once you talk about that, because that's just like such a girly thing to like, and you shouldn't like those things. Anyway, I'm rambling on. This is a short list. They're not in any particular order, and I frankly couldn't give a shit if they were not. So, the first thing that I absolutely love, this has recently been a trend, which I think is just absolutely amazing. But for a long time, there's this girl I follow on TikTok. I've no idea what her name is, but otherwise I'll put it down below. She does these poetry sayings, she does essays, she does a lot of those things, and she only puts on red lipstick most of the time. And that really kickstarted my love for that. I've always been like a red lipstick lover, like I wear it all the time. I have so many different ones. I put a lot of money into buying red lipsticks because I think they suit just everybody, and especially now that I kind of find one that fits to my liking, my face. I'm very cool toned, which is really difficult to find. You didn't think it would be, but apparently it is. But anybody who just goes completely barefaced with just a red lipstick on, I think just looks absolutely beautiful. Especially, shockingly enough, because I feel like people like automatically like think that, you know, they shouldn't go out with a bare face, is when they have imperfections on their face. Like I love it when someone has loads of acne and just like just a red lipstick on. Like I think that's so pretty. Like I don't know, I just think it's very editorial. I just think it's quite couture. I just really love it. So that's my first thing. The second thing that I personally absolutely enjoy is baby doll dresses. Now if you don't know what a baby doll dress is, they're basically just dresses that kind of have a cinching around the breast area and then kind of just flow out. Now you can get them in many different forms. You can get them with sleeve, without sleeves, you get them long, get them short. You know, they're very popular style on nightgowns and lingerie and all of that. And that's personally the dresses that I think of. I like the other ones too. It has a girly with the bigger this. It's just not really my favorite thing personally. And I think if you don't have a dress that really looks good, you don't really pull it off that well. But I think when I look down at like lingerie and nightwear, I love it. So I've got a couple of examples actually, because I do obviously then have some myself, because duh, I love them. So I first got this pajama I've had for a long time. It's just so cute. Like it's very comfortable. It's not like, you know, the chicest or anything. It's not like the most like flattering one, but I just think it's absolutely adorable. I love the shape of it. I love the color of it. And it's just really comfortable to sleep in. The only thing is, I have gained a little weight since I bought it, which means that it isn't fitting right anymore. So, you know, but it doesn't really matter, because when you sleep in it, it doesn't matter. I don't really like sleeping in pants anyway. So, for me, that's completely fine. Now, these two lingerie dresses. So they're the same dress, kind of, but then in different like colors. So this is the black one. Absolutely cute. It has a pink bow tie in the middle. It's so adorable. Like, this is all lace, and it has like these, what's that called in English? We call them pailletten in Dutch. I don't know, but I think they're really adorable. I love this. And then I have another one which is matching with this one. And it has a slightly different format, a slightly different, like, slight differences in it. Oh, I got it tangled up. This is the hot pink version. Oh, I think it looks more red on camera because it does kind of look like really red in person as well. So you put it in proper lighting, but this is hot pink. You can't see it's hot pink. It has slight differences from the other. Obviously the bow tie is the same as the dress. This one has a split in the middle, like right down the front. Plus the fabric in the front, it's less see-through because it has a different like mesh fabric in the back. So that's like 2 layers, which is really comfortable. I love it. But yeah, these are just things that I think, you know, like traditional wear, like traditional lingerie definitely has something to it. I find modern day lingerie very cute too, but I don't know, like it just has something that I think makes it more magnificent, more glamorous. Yeah, I don't know. I think we should bring back like certain old lingerie. Like, I'm so glad that, like, I'm not a big like Sabrina Carpenter fan, but I love that she's bringing this type of lingerie, this type of fashion really into the mainstream area of fashion again, because I absolutely love it. So love her for that. So the third thing is low contrast in people. I'm the opposite of that. I am incredibly pale and I have quite dark hair. I want to go darker with it. And then my eyes are quite a dark green. Many people can't see that. They just think it's brown. It's not. They're very green. They're incredibly green actually. But I love a low contrast in somebody. I saw this a lot with loads of women of color, especially the ones that were lighter skinned, that then like had like these caramel blonde highlights in their hair, which just I just think there's something about that that's just so, makes them look so ethereal and magnificent. I have the same thing with like pale people who like really like make their hair like really pale blonde. I think that's superb. But I just love this in someone so much because I feel like it just gives me that sense of early 2000s, if you know what I mean. Like the bronzy skin, the caramel highlights, the beautiful gold. Like, I don't know, it just gives me that. And especially with girls who just have a darker skin tone, and then I just love it. It's just so intentionally done. Like, I feel like we naturally do things that contrast more. I think we choose a hairstyle based on what we like, what fits our natural palette a lot, but when you go low contrast, like, it's usually a specific decision that you made, and I think if you can rock it, you can look absolutely chic. This again is a personal thing that I absolutely love. We're going back to the red lipsticks because I love a detailed, beautiful lipstick case. I know everybody has by now seen the Guerlain like lipstick cases, like they're like these holders, and they're absolutely adorable. You can pick and choose one, and they've like special editions that come out every so many once in a while. You can get them engraved, which is so cute, and I absolutely love a beautiful lip case because it's just something about it that just makes you feel effortless about it. Do you know what I mean? Like, you go out, you have a nice bag, and you pull out a nice beautiful lipstick, and you're just like, yeah, I've got shit together. And that's what I have with this. Like, I feel like it's in the minimal things oftentimes that make people look put together, effortless, chic. It's the smaller things than the bigger things oftentimes. So this is from Besame Cosmetics. This is a newer edition, I think. They used to have an older edition. This is a new one. It has a bunch of flowers over it. I don't know. I'm going to zoom in for a minute so you can see it. But this is just... Oop. Maybe if I... Yeah, Besame Cosmetics. It has these gorgeous flowers on top of it. And the lipstick on the inside, it's a little dirty. I use it a lot. But it's just... and it has like the name. I don't think you can see it, but it has like the name on the side as well. So yeah, it's just gorgeous. I love it. I love it. I think this just... Also, the inside is red, which is just... Attention to details, y'all. Attention to details. Those matter when it comes down to products like these. It was very expensive, but like I said, I love a cool tone lipstick, especially a cool tone red one. So it's always worth it. I think whenever someone pulls out a beautiful lipstick, it just makes me look at them differently in a good way. So now back to the fashion lingerie part. A nice robe. Yeah, like I love the big fluffy white robes. You know, I do, don't get me wrong. I think they're comfortable. I have one myself, especially after you've come out of the shower. But lingerie, oh my God, I feel like you're not really that good in focus. You're not. Lingerie is, especially someone who's single and not really looking for any of that activity. I'm just not looking forward to that. I don't want to do that. Lingerie is something just so specific to me. It's so personal to me. I feel like I love it on myself because, you know, especially as women, but also for everybody out there who's had some experiences, encounters, which oftentimes again it happens to women. But if you're a man out there, I'm very sorry for you too, babes. Very sorry for you. But I think lingerie can really get that part of like sensuality and sexuality back to ourselves without, you know, it belonging to someone else, it being for someone else. It is for us. And I think a robe can really help with that because you can wear the simplest pajamas ever, like thin ones, and wear a robe over it and it'll still look really cute. So I have two. Outside of like my big white robe, obviously. One of them is actually a robe I wear outside of the house. Like it's for a specific type of design, but I sometimes wear it inside as well, obviously. And then I have one that's specifically for like my lingerie, like that I don't wear out of the house. So I'll start with that one. It's just a simple black lace one. It's just simple like this. It has, where's the sleeves? It has quite short sleeves, but it's long enough. I just think this is lovely. Like this with one of those baby doll dresses. It's, by the way, a shorter one. I like long ones, but they're sometimes a bit complicated to have. And I think, you know, this is just easier to move around in when you're in your own home, you know. So absolutely love this robe. And then, this is my babes. Where did I even get this one from? I've had this for years. Viva Couture. I don't know what that is. But I'm gonna move back a bit. As you can see, lined on the inside, velvet on the outside. So I'm gonna show the outside. Hello! It's velvet, which is absolutely lovely in and of itself because the inside isn't. Because it doesn't feel that nice on the skin, but the outside looks so luxurious. And this is a long robe, a longer one. It comes below my knees, I wanna say. But I just think like, this just makes me feel so good about myself. Like I said, I do wear this one out at times, but I really love it inside the house when it's like really during winter time, when it's getting like colder, and you have to turn the heater up and all of that, and you kind of want to walk around the house with the blanket on, but you know it's complicated because you need to cook. This is great for that. This is absolutely lovely. And I really, really, truly recommend anyone to get that because it just makes you feel good about yourself. I feel like sometimes, you know, it's exhausting to have to constantly put on like clothes and everything to, you know, because everyone's like, when you look good, you feel good and everything. And yeah, that's absolutely true. But some of us are very lazy sometimes. And having an alternative like this, that just like, if you have a bad day or if you're just not feeling it, something like this can just instantly make you feel like you're put together when you're actually not at all and you don't feel like it. And I think those things are very important too. Like having a nice pair of sweatpants that you just really love or something like that, you know, works the same with this. I just think it's absolutely lovely. Something else I really love are really, really long nails that are very sharp, very colourful, but especially with lots of jewels on it. I've recently been obsessed with the ones that have like gold jewels on it. I used to love the ones that were just like really dramatic back in like 2018, 2019. I personally don't wear nails anymore because, well, I'm a student, you know. I have loads of other things I have to worry about when it comes down to my money, and I just don't want to put that on nails personally. Also, press-ons don't last because my nail beds are way too flat. Plus, they're very small. I have very small hands, so those just don't work. So it's really sad, but I love those nails. That were just so many jewels. I think they're so chic. I know there's recently been a lot of talk about like classiness, right? I know that's a big topic, and I don't want to get too much into it because I'm someone who can't gather their thoughts very well. So I would love to put it out on a piece of paper and like actually read it, but I don't have that right now. But I think we've been taking the word classy a little bit too far, actually. Because what loads of people don't realize is classiness is oftentimes, well, most times it's rated in class. And as we all know, class does not really include certain types of people. Oftentimes it doesn't include women. Nowadays that's changing a lot since we've had a lot of queens over kings, and you know, women are, you know, more central in politics nowadays. But there's certain people, specifically people of color, specifically women of color, that are not included in this. And it just sucks to see on the internet loads of people talking about what, like, what's classy and what's not classy, and then especially it's just always the same things, you know, and you feel like it's like a kind of a microaggression where it's like, oh, the bigger the hoop, you know, or the nails, the long nails with the jewels, not classy at all, you know. And it's just like things like that that just really bother me, because it's like nobody is, I don't know, I'm not going to get too much into it. We all know why they think that way. We all know what they secretly think of people. I don't need to get into it, but that's really something I absolutely hate. So I personally think that long nails, and especially ones covered in jewels, are gorgeous. I think they're absolutely classy. I think they're such an interesting thing because nails can tell so much about a person. Because I feel like loads of us are really scared to go all out when it comes down to makeup because it's like in your face, and with clothes as well. But nails really oftentimes show the personality of the person who's wearing them. So having a bunch of jewels just tells me everything I need to know about you. And you are just, like Cardi B's nails. I don't know if she still does them, but back in the day, that was like the nails that everybody wanted. Like there were like videos of her nail artist, like talking about like what she does. So I absolutely love that. Another thing, jewel tones. If you don't know what a jewel tone is, there's certain, ooh, my clock has turned around. Ugh. If you don't know what jewel tones are, they're like a certain type of like color palette. So jewel tones really just refer to the color of jewels. Oftentimes you see like the color of lapis lazuli, deep, rich blues, very dark purples. Those are absolutely gorgeous. Emerald, obviously a beautiful green color that's very shiny. Absolutely love it. Even when you're looking at like mustard yellow, that's considered a jewel tone. Gorgeous, 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 gorgeous. I feel like these colors, obviously it depends on what like your palette is of how you look and how you dress, and it really does depend. You know, oftentimes when people put like mustard yellow, I'm reminded of that art ho aesthetic from like 2017, or what is that called? No, I don't know what it's called, but that aesthetic we had in the early 2010s with like the girls who wore like the glasses and the messy buns and the bangs, and they had like, I don't know, like grey tights and skirts and the mustard yellow tops, you know what I mean? I don't know what they're called, but I always am reminded of that. But I think these colors can look so rich and luxurious on someone. You know, in loads of cultures, when you look at cultural wear, like traditional wear, we include a lot of very like rich colors, because that was seen as rich. And nowadays we're very like straying away from that in the mainstream. We're looking a lot at, you know, very pastel-y things. We're looking at neon colors. We're looking at beiges and loads of neutral tones. But I think a jewel tone is just so classy, so elegant, so chic, so beautiful. I just think it really brings out the beautiful tones of most people's skins, at least. And I think it suits everybody. So I just think those are absolutely lovely and wonderful and instantly elevate how you look. Now this might be a controversial one. Now mind you, I am a tattoo lover. So my opinion on tattoos is in general just very different from most people's. But I love a good black work tattoo. any type of blackwork tattoo. Now, I'm in general tattoo lover. I think it's absolutely amazing. I love it on people's skins. And also, the shit's expensive, you know, and especially if you get a good quality one, I just think it looks so good on someone. And there are many different types that I just really love. I love loads of American traditional tattoos, Japanese traditionals, neo-traditionals, Maori traditionals. There are loads of different ones. I don't know if I love the scratch tattoos much, but that's just a personal opinion. Fine line, especially on women. Oh, on women, that just looks so good. Love it. But my personal love will always go to blackwork tattoos. Like, they're just, for me, they're just such a bit of me. Like, I don't know. Like, especially ones that are incredibly dark. Like, we're getting this new wave of tattoos, I find. Oftentimes we see that in the more naturey ones, like the flowers, you know. You can see that, for example, on treacle tats. She has this sleeve she covered up the old tattoos that she had. But you can see that's like a very modern tattoo, I think. But that blackwork is absolutely amazing. I love a big piece of art. I love a big tattoo. I know loads of people just love the patchwork ones, the smaller ones, because loads of us who do love tattoos are very much into tattooing as well, and we look at it as like real estate, but I'm someone who loves the bigger, the darker, the better for me. So yeah, I absolutely adore that. I think that's so beautiful. And if you get it really well done with like a tattoo artist that knows what they're doing, I think it can elevate any outfit that you're wearing. It can instantly make you feel like, in my opinion, you know your shit then. Like, you know how to find a good artist, you know what your vision is, you're very creative. That's just all of it. If you're creative, I just look at you and I think you're just a little bit more intelligent than most people's. Just a personal opinion. I'm not that creative myself, but I think that's absolutely amazing in other people. So, shout out to all my girls with the tattoos. My men too, but my girlies. Now, bags. Now, in general, this year, in like 2025, Mocha Mousse was like the Pantone color of the year. So that's like a lighter brown shade. It's very, yeah, it just looks like mousse. It just looks like a chocolate mousse. I really don't know what else to say. But it's really been streaming into fashion. I know we can see that a lot with the cowboy fashion, like the Western fashion that's going on. You know, the sad beige is still here. I kind of love it on some people, I don't on some. I think we're looking a lot at very traditional Moroccan stuff as well, and I feel like that's the color that gets woven into there very much. But it's just, it really is the color of the year. You notice that with the new fall collections coming out and everything, and the new fall trends trickling in, we can really see that suede and brown in any type of accessory you can find or any type of clothing you can find, it's really in. So for me, I've always had a small brown bag, so chic. I feel like brown can look very boring very quickly and not chic when they're really big. It depends on the fabric and how it's made. But a small bag, I think, will always like succeed in it. I love it. You know, getting a good like bag and a belt with it, or like a shoe, it's amazing. So I've got two here. I've got one for my sister actually, which is mine. She thrifted this, so it isn't the best quality. I think we should really like take care of it a little bit better, but it's this one. It's a small bag. It's so cute. You can like, she has it very short right now, like a very short length, but you can make it a lot longer. But I think this is so pretty. Like, it has this like horse detail on the front in like the silver and gold, which means you can wear it with anything. It doesn't matter what jewelry you wear. I just think this is so chic. Like, this really fits into the Western aesthetic that we have going on at the moment, but I just love this in general. I've loved this bag for years. So glad my sister got it. And this is one for me. Now, I broke it, so I do have to fix it sometime soon. And we will, but this is a bag I own. I also thrifted this. I usually thrift most of my bags because I love bags. And so, yeah, but also, and I also think if you thrift your bags, you just get different ones. Like they just look a little different than at least the ones we get nowadays, like a lot. Like I feel like it's very basic nowadays, even though that's not really what's been in. But I suppose we don't really look at fashion anymore. I feel like we really take away what everybody is wearing on a day-to-day basis with like simplicity instead of actually looking at couture the way we did years ago. I feel like the importance of couture is definitely dwindling a bit. But that doesn't matter. I love a bag like this. It's so cute. It's also quite small, but it holds loads of stuff. I use this so much. I mean, I literally broke the side of it. I'm going to show you. This is so sad. I need to sew this back in or like glue it because I'm not that good at sewing. Shockingly. But yeah, love a small brown bag. I think brown just elevates your look. Like it doesn't bring it down. It just brings it up. Just like the jewel tones, I think that is absolutely cute. And now that I think it's Taylor Swift, right? She's coming out with this new album. I think something has to do with the showgirl. I saw this because of Ivana DeLune on Instagram and then a couple of other burlesque performers. But I'm so glad we're focusing so much more on things like burlesque and showgirls and what it really, really means to like have been one of Bob Mackey's things back in the 80s. Or so I hope that this just sparks a better, like bigger conversation about what showgirls are really like, what it's like, because obviously it's a difficult conversation for many people, especially because we're going a bit more towards the conservative side of loads of things. You know, the talk of burlesque is a little scary, I think, for most. It's, you know, we're becoming all a bit prudish, which is fine, but I don't know, I just think it's a little weird. But one of the things that I love then is obviously burlesque. Burlesque is obviously now like going to be a very controversial topic to talk about, but I love burlesque. I love everything about it. I think it's so chic. I think if you know your history very well in burlesque, that shows a lot about you. I don't know, I think everything about burlesque is so glamorous. Obviously we have the very famous movie with Cher and Christina Aguilera, which absolutely love that movie, don't get me wrong, but it's nothing like the real burlesque. Or well, that has some similarities to it, but obviously it's not real life, it's a movie. But I just think, like, I don't know, it's just getting in there in like this small get ready rooms with a bunch of other girls, getting ready, putting on your makeup, like putting on these lovely, lovely little costumes, the music, the dancing on stage to it, the costumes, the feathers, oh my god, the glitter, the glamour. I just think it's absolutely terrific. I think it has a beautiful history as well. Yeah, I don't know. Another fashion thing, yeah, you saw coming. I'm getting the big bitch out. Briefcases. I love a briefcase for so many reasons. Obviously, I studied law for 4 years, so I'm a little biased towards them, but I think they are just the most magnificent things in the world. Mine is a dark red. It looks a little brown on the camera, but it's like a dark plum, dark red color. It's so gorgeous. And it's not too big as well. It fits my entire laptop in it and a bunch of papers I need for school. So yes, I do occasionally wear this to school if I want to. So yeah, it's just, I love these so much. Briefcases, I feel like briefcases just make them, like make a person and outfit look so structured and put together. Also, they're not as uncomfortable as one might think. They're quite heavy, but once you have them in your hand, I feel like they're sometimes even more comfortable than most bags we have because they're so structured and obviously hard. I feel like they're so easy to carry around and genuinely do feel really well to holding your arm when you're walking around. As someone who has to take the train to school, this is really comfortable. So yeah, I love a briefcase. I'm just gonna open it for you. I love this. I just love that. This is what it looks like for me on the inside. That just does things to me, you know? So a briefcase, my opinion, can look really cool, especially now that we're like, we've circled back to the 70s very well with this Western fashion and the 90s with the suits, but I think we are really reaching towards like the 80s this year. and slowly trickling into that. So I think like for women, having a briefcase is just gonna look so, it's just like, it's gotta have that sense of je ne sais quoi, you know what I mean? It's just lovely. I just think it's so chic. Yeah. And the last thing I want to talk about, which is really funny because I just had that briefcase here, but the colors again. But obviously this has been a trend for a while now. But as someone whose old room used to have an entire wall in the color of oxblood and another wall in the same color as wallpaper with a bunch of flowers on it, the color oxblood and the color aubergine are things I just find so chic. Obviously, there is the talk about, there's obviously this like, it doesn't fit everybody because I'm someone who's cool toned, so not everything suits the way I look, but I do think it makes something look so fancy. Like it just looks expensive. I don't know. Like I said about the jewel tones, I think that just these colors just bring out something so luxurious. Like nowadays, color doesn't really cost much anymore. You know, you can walk into an H&M and you can find something in this color. So it isn't really expensive, but obviously a lot of us still have that mindset from back then. You know, how like purple is like a royal color, which I don't really understand. I never really got that. But anyway, that's just me, I suppose. But it's just like we have these ideals, and I think a deep, rich tone like that really still has like that idea in the back of our heads, and especially because red and oxblood is such a common color in so many cultures. I don't know. I just think it's absolutely beautiful, and I love it so much. I think it's just very chic. It's just very chic. That's why it's in this video, because it's chic. That's my list of things. It was actually, this took a lot longer than I expected. I think the video recording of itself is, I think like 35 minutes long. This is going to be like a 10-minute video, but the recording is 35 minutes long. This took a lot longer than I expected. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed. I hope you had a fun time discussing things that are chic with me. And yeah, I hope you have an absolutely great day, and keep in mind, do what you love, not what other people say they love. Yeah, lots of love.